everyone, my name's Kat and I write books and stuff, and this is my YouTube channel. Welcome to this week's video. What have I got for you this week? Well, I thought that we would do the Fearless Writing tag. I've really enjoyed this tag. I've seen some of the videos, some other author tubers have done it, and I've really enjoyed their answers. I think it's quite an interesting one. This was originally created by Kim Chance and Edward Gray. I'll link both of their channels down below so you can go and watch their original videos, and obviously have a squiz around, see what other writers and other author tubers are saying in answer to these same questions. So with that, let's get started. Question number 1. The questions are down here, by the way, so if you see me looking down, it's to look at my laptop where I've got the questions. So question number 1, lies. What is the biggest fallacy you're telling yourself as a writer? I know lots of people will talk about, I think Kim mentioned imposter syndrome and, not being good enough or whatever. My biggest lie to myself is tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow. I'll always do it tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. There's only ever today. So that's the biggest lie that I tell myself. And I've been telling myself that lie for years. And I only have in the past really ever seemed to be able to get my bum in gear when there's a deadline, when there's a NaNoWriMo or something that's looming. I am determined now, this year is the year of today, not tomorrow. So I'm going to stop telling myself this lie. Tomorrow never arrives. There is only today. Question number 2, starting new. Does the first draft scare you or motivate you? It's a little bit of both. I think the first draft, I actually really enjoy the drafting phase as a general rule. But yeah, sometimes it can be really scary. You get a bit stuck or you don't know where you're going, or I think the biggest thing that scares me about the first draft is knowing that at the end of it, that's not the end. The next thing then is to then make that draft into something better, to something worthy, to something that you guys would enjoy reading or watching or listening to. That's always the worry or the scary thing is the thing that comes after it is, can I make this what it should be? So first drafts, yeah, there's a little bit of scariness about it, but mostly I actually really enjoy it. Question number 3 then, roadblock. What is the number 1 obstacle stopping you from writing? Mine is, my roadblock is always lifestyle at the moment. Working shifts, I find it really difficult to get into any kind of routine. So that goes for any sort of practice. I sing as well as write, and I find carving out time in my day and in my life to actually just properly practice and dedicate some time to it, I find really difficult. And I have in the past found that virtually impossible. I've made a real commitment this year because there's things that I want to achieve that I need to make time for writing, and I need to find time to write and make that happen. So lifestyle is always really difficult for me because of working shifts, because of the job that I do. Number 4, reflect. How can you overcome the obstacle? I think the only way that I can is to literally just commit, to say enough is enough, and draw the line in the sand and say, now we're going to do this. We're going to do it the way we have to do it, which is to go through the pain barrier of, I've worked for 12 hours, now I have to write for 2. It's going okay. There obviously are still going to be times when I can't write because I'm too tired or because I have other commitments. So far it's going okay, and I think that as long as I can stick to that commitment, then we'll be alright. We'll get there. You and me, we'll get there. Question number 5, perfectionism. How can you challenge yourself to get past the perfectionism procrastination trap? I'm a perfectionist. I'm a terrible perfectionist. I have been for years, and I think actually as I've got older it's less of a problem. So if you're a perfectionist and you're still quite young, then maybe all you need to do is just weather the storm. But yeah, I was in school and through my sort of 20s and what have you, I was a horrible perfectionist. If it wasn't perfect, it wasn't good enough. And I think that one day I just arrived at a point where I thought, actually, this is holding me back. And yeah, I acknowledge that what I write in the first draft is total rubbish. Sometimes I read it back and I cringe. Sometimes I don't read it back because I know I'm going to cringe. But yeah, you've just got to, if it comes to writing anyway, you've just got to get it on the page because as with anything, practice makes perfect. The more you write, the better you'll be. You can't just kind of expect to sit down and do a thing and be great at it on day one. You know, Olympic athletes don't get to be Olympic athletes by just turning up once and running really fast. Artists they practice over and over and over again. If you find it hard to do that, well, you know, just prioritize it. That's the thing that I think has really helped me, is making this a priority. So I think to myself, well, you know, I have to prioritize that. I have to make that a priority to make it happen. Question number 6, failure sucks. How can you grow from failure? I'm a firm believer in the light bulb story. So Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. He failed however many times, and what he said was that he didn't fail. He discovered 100 ways to not make a light bulb. You only fail if you stop trying, and this goes back again to that kind of basic fundamental thing of you've got to practice. So, you know, I think you can acknowledge that a particular project might fail. So, you know, I think I've written about 3 or 4 manuscripts before getting to something that I thought I could work on and polish and make good for publication. You know, those first 2 projects, I suppose you could class as failures. There was one that I didn't even finish. There was one that I finished, but, you know, I'm really not happy with. I might go back to that at some point in the future, but at the moment it's on the shelf. It's not going to see the light of day. Nobody's ever going to read that. So somebody might call that a failure. I don't really think of that as a failure. I think of that as practice. And I think of that as a learning experience. Question 7, rejection sucks too. How can you grow or learn from rejection? This is my least favourite question of this entire tag. It's probably my biggest concern about putting myself out there. So being on YouTube, writing and publishing a book, telling you that I've got other projects down the line. Yeah, that's all really scary, and the reason why is because I know I don't take rejection well. I know I don't take criticism well, and it's something that I've spent my entire life working on. But, you know, at the end of the day, again, it's kind of like that question of failure. You only fail if you stop trying. You know, you just have to keep going, because there are other people who won't reject you. There will always be other people who won't reject you, and perhaps that's the lesson, perhaps that's the way to learn and to grow, is to say, actually, I'm okay with this person not liking it, this person rejecting what I do, because I've got this person who loves it. Question number 8, create action. How do you keep moving towards your goals? For me, the main reason or the main way I keep moving towards my goals is to keep them visible. Keep your goals in front of you. You know, whatever it might be, whatever your goal is, keep it in front of you every single day. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a couple of ways that I keep my goals in front of me. First is that everything's in my bullet journal. I break it down, I look through my bullet journal every day, I look at my goals, what can I do next? What's the next step? Can I do this now? Do I need to do something before I can do this? So that's one of the things that I do, is to use my bullet journal to keep my goals in front of me. The other thing that I do is I use Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. There's nothing religious in this, by the way. Look it up. It's basically, it's an attitude. It's a way to start your day, or indeed to finish your day, or fit it in however you want to. But it's a way to kind of improve your focus. So it involves a meditation. It involves affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading and writing. Those are the kind of 7 principles of the Miracle Morning. And so every morning, or as often as I can every day, I meditate, but then importantly, I write out my affirmations and I visualize. So I have in my mind where I want to be in a year, or in 5 years, or in 10 years. I have the big visions and the little visions and the individual projects, and I imagine those in completion. You know, that process of visualizing and giving yourself affirmations every day, I have found super helpful for motivating myself, keeping myself motivated. So keep your goals in front of you. Always keep your goals in front of you. Question number 9, new year, new outlook. If fear wasn't holding you back, what would you be doing right now to further your writing dreams? I was afraid of starting this YouTube channel for so long. I wanted to start doing something like this in July, and I procrastinated to hell and back because it was kind of like, well, I need to get a light, and I need to get a tripod, and I need to do this, and I need to do that, and I need to be prepared, and I want to have all these things in place before I start doing it. And actually they were all just a manifestation of fear, because I was afraid. When you're fearless, you jump in with both feet, and I did not jump in for so long. And it got to January, I was like, do you know what? I need to just crack on with this and get it done. The other thing that I'm afraid of is, as I've already mentioned, I want to publish a book this year. I'm working actually on a different book at the moment, which seems absolutely insane even to me. But there's reasons for that, and that's because I really need to finish the draft of the one that I'm working on now before I can go back to finishing the draft of the one that I want to publish. Question 10, leap of faith. What is the one thing you plan to do this year even though it scares you? I'm going to publish a book. I'm going to publish my first book. That's my biggest fear. I'm working towards it right now, and yeah, let's publish a book. That's what I'm going to do this year. Now, I'm running out of space on my memory card, so I'm going to wrap this up really fast. If you enjoyed this video, then like, please comment, say hi, tell me what your fears are and what you're doing. Share the video with your friends and family, anyone you think would enjoy it. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye! That, I've forgotten where I was going with this. Oh no. This whole tag is just such awful mess. Yeah. I don't know. Oh god, I think my card's running out of space. Oh. Oh. And if you've, yeah, I don't really know the answer to that. Oh, I just really hope there's enough in that footage.